And for more on this, we're joined by Hajo Funke. He is a professor of political sciences at the Free University of Berlin, an expert on far-right movements. Thanks so much for joining us here on France 24. What can you tell us about the Reich Citizens Movement? How large of a group is this, and what can you tell us about their beliefs?
According to the secret services, around 20,000 are somehow members of the Reichsbürger Szenery. This group that is taken by the police units is very small, but very dangerous, because they really started to organize a coup d'etat. And that shows from the belief system that this group is a hardcore right-wing extremist, even terrorist network. You know, an element and central element, even a leading element of this wide range of Reichsbürger in Germany of around 20,000 people.
What can you tell us about these 25 people who were arrested today in particular?
Yes. These are known and unknown members of various groupings within the state or within parties. There is a former member of the right-wingish party in the Bundestag, AfD. There is a member of the KSK, the special unit for special operations of police in Calw in Baden-Württemberg. So you have a range of persons, and of course those who are ideological up to change the Federal Republic towards the old-fashioned Reich of 1871, and that includes Alsace-Lothringen and parts of Silesia and what is today Poland, and others there in the east. So it's a clear-cut, full-range right-wingish ideology that should be executed in a coup d'etat.
Yeah, you mentioned the numbers there, 20,000. When we talk about the Reich Citizens Movement, what kind of influence does it have in Germany?
You know, the problem is that they were taken as not very rational persons, and that's not so important, and so forth. And now we see, and since some years, 2 or 3 or 4 years, also the police of the state of the country and the Secret Service are saying, okay, now they have dangerous components, and now we see how far it has gone.
What about their beliefs? I mean, there are references here to the deep state. What can you tell us?
They perceive in their paranoid conceptualization of this grouping of the Federal Republic, that this is a rotten, often anti-Semitic version of state that has to be country that has to be overcome. So we have this is clear-cut. That's paranoid, right-wing extremist way of worldview, even. So not just this element or that, on the whole scale. And this is why these groupings are so dangerous.
We talked about a very high number of police officers that were deployed during these raids, 3,000 officers. These kinds of measures were implemented in the last years in Germany to counter right-wing terrorism. What can you tell us about that?
Say it again. I didn't get the question of your presentation.
What does it tell you that so many officers responded to these raids today? 3,000 officers. What does this tell you about Germany's ability to counter this kind of far-right group?
A good question. I see it as such. Nowadays, the German security structure is very informed and very capable to contain them. And this razzia shows it at the best, because you have to have for the 16 or 11 countries, states within the Federal Republic, you have to go after them to be precise, and to have even weapons to counter possibly weapon attacks of them. But again, this 3,000 shows that they get it. The institutions of our republic get this situation as very serious, and they can counter it.
Yeah, certainly a very serious situation. We want to thank you, Hajo Funke, professor of political sciences at the Free University of Berlin and an expert on far right movements. Thanks for joining us here on France 24.
With pleasure.